just like that, we are back, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Bearsbest. We have another very, very special guest. His name is Dejounte Hayes, also known as D Hayes on social media. He's a former football player, now content creator, kind of running the world over here, doing his own thing and making waves. So I'm glad to have you, man, and glad to hear about you and learn more about you.
Yeah, I was excited, honestly. When you sent me that message yesterday, I was like, let's do it. Let's go. This is my first podcast. So normally when I do podcasts, I've done them when I was getting ready to come out for the NFL and stuff, and they were all on the phone. They weren't really interactive. I didn't really have a relationship at all with the person who was interviewing me, but being able to sit down in front of some cameras and this nice room and be able to talk to you, I was like, let's do it. Let's set it up. So you're the first one who's done it so far.
Thanks, man. I appreciate the quick turnaround. I hit him up yesterday. I was like, let's do it tomorrow. He's like, okay. So here we are, not even 24 hours later.
Yeah, we don't have no time for games this year. I'm trying to be everywhere, be seen everywhere, just 110%. I'm ready to go. All gas, no brakes.
Cool. Well, for me and everybody listening, why don't you give us a quick background on who you are, where you're from, and how you got to right where you are today?
Of course. So my name, like you said, my name is Dejounte Hayes. I played football at Eastern. I'm from Tacoma, Washington. I had a very, very, very blessed football career throughout high school. I was able to get a lot of scholarships and stuff, and I decided to go to Eastern to play with my best friend, Jason Williams. As I went to Eastern, my first couple years, they were very rough. They were very hard. I didn't really play that much. You go from a star in high school to sitting on the bench every game for a couple years, and it definitely takes a toll on your mental and everything. So I just had to grind through that, trying to get through it, and I managed to do that. My junior year, I took the starting job. I had an insane year that year. 85 tackles, I think 2 interceptions, and 5 PBUs, and then that was just the start. I'm telling the coaches, the defensive coordinator and my safety coach ends up leaving, and I'm sitting in there with one of the, at the time he was a D-line coach, and I'm telling him if you just let me go crazy this year, and there's a little intern in there, and he wasn't saying much or anything. He was just sitting there just listening, because in all these meetings, there's somebody in there who just he just sits there. They want to have I forget what it's called, a person who's just there, a witness. It's called a witness. So I'm in there and I'm like, you know what? If you guys just give me the opportunity to show you guys why I'm here in the first place, I'll be an All-American. And the coach takes what I says, and he becomes the defensive coordinator a couple months later. Okay. And then the intern that was in there becomes my safeties coach. Dang. And so what he does is allows me to play how I want to play. So that season, I had a lot of rough things that went on during the off season that I definitely had to battle through and get over. But I ended up having 115 tackles that season. I ended up having 5 PBUs, 3 interceptions. I had an outstanding year that year, and it was nothing left for me because that was my senior year, but to start training for the NFL, which is what I did. I instantly started training. I had a great trainer. He was TJ. TJ was our strength and conditioning coach as well, but then he took over and started training us for pro days. I was doing amazing, running great times, jumping as far as I can. Everything was just great. And then, boom, we got shut down for COVID.
Oh, man.
So right when that happened, it was kind of sudden, too. So it was a Thursday. We just got done working out. We were like, is COVID, is it a real thing? Are we really going to get shut down? And he's like, no, you have nothing to worry about. We go home 2 hours later. He's like, yo, we're shut down. Man. I'm like, what in the world? So then after that, I was pretty much lost. I didn't really know what to do. And then I started doing a little bit of social media stuff. Posted a video, started going viral a little bit. I'm like, okay, this is a little bit different. I was never a social media guy. I had a lot of social anxiety, didn't really take pictures. And then I just kept on doing it a little bit more. I was like, okay, let me go in and ride this wave for a little bit. Let me just see what I can make of it. And then I started just growing on TikTok is where I first started. I went from 0 followers to 100,000 followers in I want to say a month and a half. Wow. And then I went from 100,000 to 200,000. I was just growing at an aggressive rate. And I was like, this is amazing. And I started taking trips down to Atlanta. And I started taking trips down to Florida, to all over. And I started to meet all these other content creators. And I was like, this is a great life. And I started meeting people, and people were coming up to me asking me, I know you, I see you. They were recognizing me. And it kind of just made it to where I trickled it over to Instagram. And now I've made a really good career off it. This is what I do full time now, social media.
Oh, yeah. When you were talking about taking those trips down to Atlanta and Florida, were those kind of all out of your own pocket and just kind of investing in yourself? Or did you have a pipeline and a direction before that? Or you just kind of chose to dive in on that?
Well, so I was instantly when I started blowing up, I got connected with a manager that was down there in Atlanta. He had a lot of ties, connections with big names and all that. And I was probably the smallest person, only person from Washington too. So as I'm going down to these places, they're like, Washington, you're super far away. I'm like, this is just what I have to do. So going down there, I made great relationships. I didn't know anybody besides my manager going down there at first. Now I know handfuls of people like who live in all those different locations, and I'm able to actually have real relationships with them. But I've never been someone who does a lot of collabs. So when I meet these people, it's real genuine interactions. I'm not using them for followers. I'm not using them for likes. I actually want to get to know them. I want to know how they build, where they're like, what they have, their platforms, how they got to the point that they're at. And I actually enjoy learning those type of things because I want to learn and be the best I possibly can be too for my followers, supporters, and all that.
And since it's social media is kind of mostly independent, and being a football player and an athlete, you're around a team and like-minded people. So going out and meeting those people, and it's like, whoa, we got the same goals. We're on the same path. So like it is good to meet other people, even though it's at the end of the day, you're still making your own content and want to do things for yourself. It's good to kind of know that there's a team out there and other people grinding like you.
Yeah, it honestly is pretty. It's also it's just great to even see. You learn a lot, and you start to realize like you're not alone in this at all. There's a lot of people who are going to support you 100% no matter what you do. I was just watching a movie the other day, with the new movie with Drewski in it. It's called Praise This, I believe. And I'm watching it. And one of my boys is in the. I was literally just with him in Atlanta.
What?
We were just shooting some videos. I didn't even know he was in the movie, but he only had like a 10-second clip. But I'm like, that's what I want to do. So like, ever since I was a little kid, I want to be an actor. Like that's 100% what I want to do. Like that's acting is what I want to transition from what I do on Instagram to like the real
big
world.
screen.
Yeah, oh yeah, the big screens is where I have to be there. There's no way. Like I just enjoy that. Like I can get into a role and play that role to the best of my ability for sure. I do it in my videos. I do it in my skits. All those I'm in a role. Whether it's 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 20 seconds, that's a role that I'm in. Right when the video's over, I'm back to my normal self. But I mean, that's just what it is. Acting is just fun to me. I want to do that for sure.
So when you're back at Eastern, you get a pick six or you get a fumble that you take to the house, and you get that feeling, the whole crowd's cheering. Maybe you just won the game or sealed the deal. That feeling, do you feel anything like that now with what you're doing with social media?
I believe that kind of is why I haven't played football again, because I have taken it to where I get real interactions. It's a little bit different, I'd say. When you're playing in front of a crowd, everyone's cheering. You really don't know who is cheering. Like you might know, oh, my mom's in the stands, two friends are in the stands, but you don't get actual interactions with those people. And maybe when the game's over, but sometimes when there's football players walking around and stuff, helmet off, shoulder pads off, most people don't really recognize you unless you're like a real face, quarterback, star wide receiver. I'm a safety. I mean, I make a lot of plays, make a lot of tackles. Yeah, that's fun. But you're not really the guy that everyone's going to notice like walking down the street. However, with social media, I get real interactions. I can go look at my comments right now and I see people laughing, having a good time, enjoying it. People defending me. Like say if I post like most of my stuff's not really controversial, but sometimes it's not appealing to certain type of men or certain type of women or whatever, however it could be in that case. Which is okay with me because all my stuff's always respectful. Like I don't mean that I'm disrespecting anybody, but if there'll be people in the comments who would defend me and be like, "Oh, you don't know what you're talking about," or something like that, because it's a role. It's a role with whatever that video was, and that's a real interaction. That's real, and I love that stuff. I love seeing people laughing or "I'm weak, I'm dead. This is hilarious." And then looking at all the shares and everything. Those are real life interactions, and I like that type of stuff. I like to see that I can sway people's emotions and have a good time, and it's all beneficial in a way. Like, I mean, I'm living a comfortable life now because of it. People support me and they enjoy my content. I don't have any negativity around me. I don't get negative comments or people being rude and stuff like that. I love it. It's fun.
That makes sense. I've never thought about it like that. Whereas a stadium full of a crowd is just the crowd.
Yeah.
Whereas, your feed is each person's broken down with the name, with a bio, with pictures of them.
It's completely
you don't get
different.
that in an arena.
It's so different because it's like you get thousands of people who are cheering. Yes, that is great. But who knows if they're actually cheering for you? And then when you actually go onto your page, you get people, they're commenting on your page because they're interacting specifically with you. Every single person who comments, everything that they say is made for you. Those are all real life things. And that's why I enjoy it. I enjoy it. People would say it all the time. When I'm having a bad day, I see it in the DMs. This is just what they'll say. When I'm having a bad day, I watch all your videos.
Hey.
It'll make me feel better or things like that. And when I see that, I'm like, I love that. Like, that's great that people can use me to help them feel better. Cause that's all I love people. I love life. And that's just what makes me want to continue to do this and what makes me want to continue to go. Cause at any point I could have been like, social media, I'm cool. I'm good. But instead I'm like, let me just keep on going. Like, this is fun. This is what people want to see. This is what people want to do. I help change people's moods. I help change people's lives. Like I show people that you can make it happen. I've been through some of the worst stuff you can possibly think of. And yeah, I have the biggest smile all the time. I'm always the happiest person. So I just think that I just always am being an advocate for those people who are too scared to say it themselves.
What are some of the adversities you've had to deal with in life?
Well, I'd say, okay, well, going back to 2019, so the 2018 season I had spoke about. So I graduated high school in 2015. And so 2015 was my freshman year of college. 2016 was my redshirt freshman year. 2017 redshirt sophomore year. Then 2018 my redshirt junior year. So I didn't play barely at all until my redshirt junior year. When I got thrown in there, my first game, 12 tackles, and that just kind of was a role that I was on. 12, 12, this, that. I was just going crazy until we ended up playing a national championship and everything. 15 games that season. Insane. But I tore both my shoulders during that season, and I continued to play throughout the entire season. So I had 2 torn labrums, my right and my left shoulder, and I just played through it the whole time because that's just the type of person I am. And then season was over, February 8th, I believe it was. I had my first shoulder surgery on my right shoulder. A month later, March 21st, I had surgery on my left shoulder. So I was slinged up for a couple weeks, boom, switch over, slinged up on the other shoulder a couple more weeks. I'm battling through that, doing physical therapy, all that. My right shoulder is not really healing the best at all because it's a weird process when you try and do that. So as I sit there and as I'm trying to get back and come back through everything, I think it was around, and then July 12th, me and my friend are out at the Globe over here, lose my car keys, and I'm like, man, where's my car keys? Where are my car keys? I go up to the car, like we go outside. I go up to my car door, and then as I go turn around, I end up getting shot. Somebody does a drive-by. And so I didn't know what the whole situation was, what happened, but I get shot in the neck.
Whoa, just like that?
Shot directly in the neck. And I hit the ground, boom, and then I hear my boy yelling, "DA's, I'm hit, DA's, I'm hit." So I get up, I'm like spazzing everywhere, don't understand why this happened, what was going on. The cops, ambulance come, we go down to the hospital and everything. I'm like very annoyed and mad about the whole situation because I'm one of the nicest people and I'm very respected by everyone. This was something that I was like, well, how can this possibly ever happen? So as I'm in the hospital, I'm sitting there, I think it's around 3 a.m. right now. They automatically are profiling me instantly because I have tattoos, of course. I wear my grills and everything, but that's just because I love art. So that's the biggest thing. I'm a big art guy, all that. So that's why I have tattoos. It's not because I'm a gang member. It's not because anything like that. I'm a smart, educated black man. What do you mean? I graduated college 3.9 GPA, magna cum laude.
Hey.
Like, we're not, let's be real here. But, so when all this is happening, I go into my boy's room the next day because he had a bunch of surgeries and stuff. He was very, very close to dying and everything. And so I go into his room like, hey, man, like, what happened last night? Kind of breaks it down for me. There was just a situation across the street, I guess, just a little bit of altercation between some guys. He's a big dude, and he's always like, he's the best person he could possibly be all the time. So he crosses the street. As I'm going to my car, he crosses the street, and he's like, hey, like, tries to break it up. Like, no, you guys don't got to do this. And due to his size, he's a bit intimidating, of course. So the guys don't like that, and they go to their car, and they just get ready for the light to turn green. He crosses back across the street thinking that it was no big deal. Everything was over, that they were leaving. And as I'm at my car door, I'm like, dang, it's locked. So I go turn. He's about 15 feet away from me, so like just a little bit down the street. And they just shoot as they drive down the street, just shooting recklessly. It wasn't even aimed. I don't think it was aimed for me at all, but they were just trying to be a little bit reckless. And so I get hit in the neck. Luckily, I turned because I could have hit me in my spine.
Whoa.
And they shoot him in the chest. And then that was a pretty crazy situation overall. But
what did it feel like?
Honestly, it was the craziest thing because I didn't feel any pain before, during, or after.
Really?
At all. None. I just felt, only thing I knew I was shot is because I turned and the force of it was so strong that it knocked me clear onto the ground.
Whoa.
Smacked me on the ground, and then I just felt like the blood, because I got shot right here, bullets in my neck for the rest of my life. I felt the blood just like going down my beard because I had a beard at the time still. And then it made national news. It was pretty insane. 2 weeks later, I'm at fall camp because this was July 12th. Fall camp was like August 2nd or something. 2 weeks later, I'm at fall camp ready to go. And then I end up having 115 tackles that season.
Jesus.
It was absolutely insane. But that's just how much I battled back. 2 shoulder surgeries and getting shot in one off season.
Damn.
And I still was able to go. Like, that's just the grit and determination I had.
You need to write a song about that.
There's just so much stuff that I've overcome. And there's just things that, like, there's no reason. I can't just stop. Like, things go on in life, but things go on in life. That's what it is. And for instance, for those of you who, like, for what I just posted the other day about my whole head situation and everything, like, so For those of you who don't know, I was in a situation. Well, I just came back from Europe. I had a great procedure done down there in Europe. It was amazing. I had a great time. I had a great translator and everything down there. But I did get my hairline reconstructed, and I got just my forehead reduced. And these were something that most people would be like, "Oh, you were losing your hair," but that was the thing. Like, people didn't understand. So for the last 2 years, I've been doing social media. I've been gaining a lot of followers, but I'm very closed off as an individual when it comes to emotions and feelings and things like that, just because you want to keep your followers at a distance in some ways, you know. I love them. They're great supporters and everything, but you guys sometimes just don't need to know everything that goes on in my life, because I'm not really someone who looks for sympathy. I like to get over things. I like to do things myself. So 2 years ago, me and my friends are out in Coeur d'Alene, just outside the bar, and there was a lot of guys fighting and stuff outside the bar. So the cops that came, I'm just sitting in my car, just minding my business. One of my friends were in the back seat, and another one of my friends is getting ready to get into the passenger seat. But as he walks away, the cops come up to my car. They're like shining their light in my car. This was in 2021. I was just getting ready to go play for Spokane Shock. So because of COVID, I wasn't able to make it to the NFL, even though I talked to the Buffalo Bills and Steelers pretty much every day. So then I ended up just signing to the IFL team that was in here, the Spokane Shock. And because of the type of COVID that was going on, like out here, the restrictions and everything, we weren't able to play that season. So I was signed to them for a full year. I was very excited about playing. This was like, you know what? I haven't played in a year. You got to think, man, I was a star, Little League, high school, barely played in college, man. And now I got to wait another year. No, like I'm very, very ready. So I'm out there in Idaho. We're just sitting there waiting. And the cop comes, he's shining his light in my car. And I'm like, yo, man, like, I'm not doing anything. I'm just waiting for my friend to take him home. However, there was a bottle of alcohol in the car, but the alcohol was complete. It was a brand new bottle. It wasn't even open. I'm like, yo, I haven't been drinking. I haven't been doing anything. I'm like, you can breathalyze me. Like, it's whatever. Get out the car. I'm being very cooperative. I'm like, yo, like, I promise you. I'm like, I just play football. Like, I'm just getting ready for the football season. I don't want any issues. Football is where it triggered him. Football, he's like, oh, okay. He's a smaller guy. I mean, I'm not the biggest guy. I'm 5'11", but he was probably like 5'6", I'd say. And the cop, the minute he heard football, his whole demeanor changed. He went from being a cool guy to like, now he was like, okay, I'm going to make a scene out of this. Dang. So then he's standing there. 3 more of his guys walk up, and he like charges at me as I'm standing there. I'm like, whoa. And I like take a step back. They all just like jump on me. They're like punching on me. Like it's just crazy, like wailing on me. My friends are all there. They're like, what is going on? They start like recording it and everything that way, because I was going to make a huge deal out of it and everything. But I couldn't do that, because I was in the back of my head. I'm thinking, yo, I've been waiting to play football for a year. Like, if I go down like this, like if I'm sitting there and I'm like make a huge scene about it and take on the police in Idaho, football is not gonna be something that I'm gonna be able to like focus on at the time.
Coaches wouldn't want all that stigma.
They wouldn't want So then I ended up. So then all this happens. They're just wailing on me. It's pretty ridiculous. I have a black eye, a busted lip, and then they take me down to the station. They charge me with resisting arrest, but I'm very confused why I'm being arrested in the first place. Whole time I'm asking the officer, why am I being arrested? He's not answering me. It's crazy. Doesn't breathalyze me. Doesn't check me if I have any alcohol. Doesn't do anything. So realistically, this whole arrest was for no reason.
Damn.
So I'm in the jail just for a couple hours. Realistically, I shouldn't have been there for a couple hours in the first place. I shouldn't have been able to get right out. They're treating me like trash. I have no socks, no shoes on, walking around barefoot. They don't give me any slides to put on. No water. My mouth is so dry at the time because of everything that just happened. Another officer comes, very nice guy. He's like, yo, I'm just going to take some pictures of your injuries. Okay, no problem. So takes a picture of my eye, my lip, and he's like, can you please like lower your head? I want to take pictures of your head. And I'm like, my head? Like, what do you mean? Like, pictures of my head. I go like this, and there's a whole patch of hair that comes out.
Damn.
And I'm like, what? I'm like, and that's when I was very livid, because I have very nice hair, usually very long, like it's curly. I usually have like afro, like I style it different. That's me. I like to look good all the time. Like, that's just who I am. So then this was just a crazy thing for me. So I'm like, okay, no worries. My hair is going to grow back, because I had a little afro at the time. And as time goes on, my hair actually doesn't grow back in that spot. So it's just interesting. It's like very thin. It's just not very the way it was before. I had a couple of silent procedures last year. I went down to Tacoma, had spent $4,000 to get PRP injections in my scalp. Doesn't do anything, all this stuff. And so after like 2 years of battling with this silently, like it's something that bothered me. I was like, I'll stay up late. I turned down a lot of stuff, and people never understood why I turned it down. It's because I was battling with this. Like, it was
stuff like what?
Like, so I had a bunch of deals that I was going to do, TV shows as well. Like, I was going through the full casting process, just getting my blood drawn, just everything that you do in order to be able to be on these TV shows. I was doing it. And right when would get down to the point to where I can like actually go on these shows, I would just like sabotage it for myself. And nobody would ever understand why I would do it. They're like, dude, like my manager as well, he'd be like, dude, you have the blueprint. Like, you're the guy. Like, why do you not believe in this? And I just never let anybody in to know what I was going through. Nobody knew that this was happening the whole time, that I was struggling with this. And it's because it was my own, I wouldn't say it's my own insecurity, but it was a character flaw of mine. I like to have as least character flaws as possible. I like to be a great person. I like to look good. I like to just do good things. And then it was something that I lacked. My hair was just a huge issue. Hair is a big thing, especially when you're on shows, when you're modeling, when you're doing all this stuff. You want to look the best. And if I don't look the best, how am I going to be able to successfully be on these shows? So I was sabotaging it for myself for so long. And then after 6 months, I was talking to the hair transplant company that I went to, a guy named Ollie, who was my translator when I went there. Sweet guy, like probably one of the nicest people I ever met. And the whole time, he just reassuring me. I was very nervous. Never been out the country, nothing. Nervous the whole time. He's just reassuring me like, man, this is going to be great. Like, we're going to take good care of you. Like, I promise, this and that. And then I was looking it up. Like, I was looking up a lot of guys like Jamie Foxx, Dennis Schroeder, like a bunch of celebrities get it done all the time. And then I'm like, you know what? Like, let's do this for me. Like, this is an investment. So I was like, let's do it. I ended up last week, I drove down to Seattle, booked a flight to Europe, went down to Europe for 4 days, and then got the procedure done. It was 100% painless. It was wonderful. My hair's it's coming back already. I was literally bald last week. My hair's already coming back fast. So I'm excited about that. And then pretty much tomorrow's my 10-day mark, so I'll be cleared to pretty much do everything again. I haven't been able to, so I've been on a straight detox, no alcohol, no nothing. That's why we asked about the cocktail. I'm like, just water for me, man. So I'm just like, I'm going to do everything and just live a way healthier life in general too. Like, I just want to make sure that this is a huge stepping point for me. And the sky's the limit now. There's nothing that can honestly like make me feel like I can't do anything now. Oh, this was the biggest key and turnover point to what I want to do in life and for my career. So I'm very excited. Oh yeah. And then the post as well, like it's pretty crazy. I'm never like really a big emotional person, but the post, like when I made the post about my hair and to see those hundreds of people, like, so that post reached like 70,000 accounts.
Wow.
And that was the most that any picture has ever done for me. My videos go insane all the time, but pictures is different. And then every person in the comments, this shows what type of what type of brand I've built for myself. Every single comment is so supportive, so like positive, and everyone is just like, we love this. We're here for you. Let's go. Take us on this journey. I was getting hundreds and hundreds of messages. I replied to 90% of the messages I replied to. It's so hard to reply to everyone, but 90% is a lot. That's a lot, and that shows how much I care. Literally about my followers, about my supporters, about everything. I was telling everybody about the process. A lot of men were reaching out. They're like, yo, man, I want this. Like, how do you do it? Like, what's the process? How are you feeling? This and that. And I was able to walk everyone through this journey. And so now I opened up a realm to where people feel comfortable about things like this. I never once thought that people were going to take it the way they did, and they did. And I'm so happy for the support. And I feel great. Like, honestly, I feel like I'm on top of the world right now. I'm so happy. And that's why when you hit me up yesterday, you were like, let's do this podcast. Man, let's do it. Yeah. You don't even got to ask me twice. Let's do it. Like, I'm here. I'm ready. Like, I'm excited. This is just the start of something big, like really big.
Cool, man. Yeah, it certainly seems like from an outside perspective and what you're just saying that you've kind of unlocked just a whole new, like if you're in a video game, you just unlock the rest of the map to go explore and go get these quests done and level up. And so now you're ready to level up and fucking take it all.
I'm so ready to level up. And it's been awesome too. So like I got back. So when I was in high school and stuff, I was a big reseller. Resell a lot of clothes, a lot of shoes and all that. I just got back into it. So I just had my 4th restock on Wednesday. The items just came in Wednesday and I've already sold them out. Yesterday was my...
Where can they find this stuff?
Well, I post it honestly on my social media, on my stories and stuff sometimes. It's just kind of like shock drops until I get my page up. I'm going to have IM's Closet up soon. So it's going to be, so pretty much my social media ads are usually IM D Hayes, IM like D Hayes Gaming. Like, so I have like a bunch of different things. So now I'm going to have IM's Closet, and it's just going to have like a bunch of like, so this is one of the gallery shirts that I was selling. I get a lot of like gallery, Spider's Young Thugs clothing line. Who else do I get? Essentials. It just depends, honestly. I get a lot of everything, but the minute it comes in, I give the best prices and people buy it instantly. So it's been great in that from that perspective too, because social media it's interesting right now. They pause Reels pay, and that's a huge blow to content creators. Like that was probably one of my biggest like ways I get paid. So with them just randomly pausing that took a big chunk of my money. But instead I was like, what can I do? And so now I'm just reselling a bunch of stuff, and it's working like crazy. I'm getting a lot of shipments in. I have a new shipment coming in on Wednesday, already booking pre-orders today. That's all I've been doing all morning. So things are really looking up right now.
Staying busy. What's kind of where do you see yourself in like 3 years with social media, and do you see yourself stepping into real TV shows, or where is this going in the near future?
I definitely, within the next 3 years, within the next 1 year, I want to be on a TV show 100%. There's no way, ifs, ands, or buts about that. I used to be really against reality TV, but if reality TV is what I got to start on in order for me to become like a real life actor, then that's what I'll do.
Something like Love Island or something?
I mean, if that's what I got to do, that's what I got to do. But Love Island would be definitely tricky because I'll just be on there taking everybody's work. So, that's the girls have never been an issue for me. But if that's the opportunity I get, then that's the opportunity I'll definitely take for sure. Whatever opportunities come my way now, I'm definitely going to take advantage of that because, I mean, like I said, the sky's the limit now. My birthday's in June. I'm going to be 26 now. And so there becomes a point to where like making skits and doing the things that I do, you got to like weed it out at some point, and you got to start actually investing it into something real. So reality TV, if that's where I got to start, that's where I'll start. But definitely I want to be a real life actor. Like I wouldn't say Michael B. Jordan, but I want to be like movies like that, movies, TV shows, whatever it is. I want to be on the big screens. I want to be seen. My dad is like one of the biggest movie fans I've ever met. Like when I was a little kid, he had thousands and thousands of actual DVDs, and he would have them lined up on bookshelves. Whatever you guys want to watch, go ahead, watch whatever. You pull one out, there's a whole nother row behind it and stuff. Hey. That's always been a dream of mine, was to be able to go home and put it in a movie, and it's me on the movie. Like that's the biggest, like all these influencers are turning into actors. They're being in movies. They're getting these opportunities. So I got to be next. There's no way.
Hell yeah. Well, that's a perfect spot. We're going to take a quick break and we're going to jump right back in.
Alrighty, works for me.
We are back. D Hayes doing it big. Super excited to hear all this stuff, and it's really encouraging to know that if there is something holding you back, being able to like look it in the face and do something about it, like that's huge to know that you can really just overcome anything, and overcoming this stuff that you've been through and to get where you are now is encouraging for me, and I'm sure a lot of other people out there.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I just kind of just try to like make situations like this, or like things that I've been through, or even my stories and stuff, to be able to really just motivate people, because it's like, honestly, you never really know what people have been through or what they go through. Like that's that's as real as it can be. Like realistically, when I first met you, I was happy talking, we had a great time. We shot photos and all that. But like, you didn't know what I've been through, and that's not. It wasn't really something that I was like, "Yo, I've been through this." Like,
yeah.
But it's just nice for like us to be able to build that bond, and then now for you to be like, you know what, this guy has actually been through a whole lot, but like realistically, his character doesn't show that. And I think too many times people get caught up in what they've been through too much. You hear it, like, because there's a way to go through stuff and to overcome it, but a lot of people allow what they go through just to hold them back for so long. But that's the thing, is like, that's why those things that's what builds you. That's what makes you. You're creating your own story all the time. I was just talking to my mentor about this, because he was like, "Did you sue the police when this happened and stuff?" I said, "Nah, man. I just, like, I had to get ready for football. I had to get right, and I took the L. Like, it was a crazy situation, of course, but I took the L, and I was just like, let's just add it to the story. Like, I'm building up my story right now. That's all it is.
Character.
Whether it's bad things, good things, no matter what it is, building that story up, and then one day everyone would just know everything I've been through. It's been a lot of crazy stuff, but it's been a lot of good stuff too. I wouldn't say my life has been just straight hell. I wouldn't say that, but I would say I've been through a lot of stuff that normal people normally don't go through, and not every time did I deserve it. Now that's 100% true. Like, so, I mean, I enjoy life, and I do everything I possibly can just to make sure that like those around me can just see like I'm pushing through every time, every chance I get. We're pushing through. We're making stuff happen. If one thing falls down, I'm gonna figure out a way to make sure that something else is right above it. So that's how we're gonna do it.
What's a couple of your favorite things that have happened to your life since the course of becoming this influencer and working online and stuff?
I say some of my most favorite things is like the financial security I have now, to where I can be able to travel and do what I want to do now. I think I've been on 8 or 9 flights already this year, and we're only just beginning April. I've been flying everywhere. I've been to Arizona, I've been to Seattle a whole lot lately. I usually never go to Seattle, which I'm from Tacoma. Like, it's kind of weird, but last 7 years I've been over there maybe just only a few times. Like, so been going back there, seeing a lot of friends. I think that's the biggest thing, is seeing old friends. Like, it's crazy. I go back home, and no matter where I go, I'm gonna run into somebody that I grew up with, and it's so nice. And I'm like, man, I missed you guys. Like, it's crazy. Everyone's like, you still playing ball? Like, how'd ball go? And I'm like, because I was the NFL guy. I was the person that was gonna make it. My mom, literally any person, my mom would be like, my son's going to the NFL. He's buying me a big house.
Hey.
But I mean, we're not going to the NFL, but that big house is still on the way, so we don't gotta worry about that. But literally, it's just great. And social media just made it to where I have so many open doors, and like, I'm able to utilize social media in so many ways, because it's the world now. Social media is the world. When people see my page, brands, companies, they're like, let's work, let's figure it out. I mean, like, we were just with Apex Transportation, Luxury Transportation the other day. I'm literally getting driven around just because I have followers, and all I got to do is just show appreciation to them and repost them and like get videos up and stuff for them. And like, that's not hard stuff, but the things that I get in return for what I do is just, it's crazy to even see. Free clothes, free shoes, everything I wear, like, it's just crazy. It's just free. Like, it's like, wow, I never even realized I'm able to live in a nice apartment the way I do. Like, I'm only 25, so like, I'm still learning. I mean, I'm not living in a mansion and stuff. I'm being smart about it, but I mean, just where I have came from. Like, last year, I lived in Cheney, Washington. Cheney, Washington is where Eastern Washington is. I didn't want to live in Cheney, Washington. Like, why would I want to do that? I lived there for a year and I think 2 months, and I just moved out in August. I had 2 roommates, nice people. I'm not like, they're great people, but they were 19 years old. I was 24. Like, come on now. Why would I want to live with like these little kids? They're up late, partying. I'm waking up every day, working a real job. Because for 2 years, I worked with adults with developmental disabilities. Every single day, I was waking up working with them. I mean, it was a great experience. Learned a lot and all that. But I mean, I'm working hard every day, and I got these young kids at the house, super loud. I don't got my own space. I can't really have like people come over because it's kind of awkward and stuff.
Yeah.
And then now I'm able to live in my own place. Like, I have my 2-bedroom house. I got my own game room. I got a shoe room. Like, I can decorate it however I want to. I got a garage. Like, these are just all things that like people take for granted, and it's like a blessing. And like, when friends come over, yesterday I had friends come over for Easter. It's just amazing to be able to look, and like, we can all sit there and say like, you got this because of social media. Like, social media helped me get everything. And like, I'm just very grateful that I'm able to be a talented individual, because social media is hard. Every video I post, that's hard. People think that like content creating is easy, but I mean, getting 1,000 views on a video is hard, let alone getting 6 million, 10 million. Like, those are hard things to do. And for me to be able to do it on a consistent basis for the last 2 years, it's a blessing. At any point, I could have lost my creative mindset, but instead I'm like always thinking of new ideas, always trying to figure out what to do next. And it's built me up to where now I could do social media, but I can do all these other things. So I run businesses in Spokane too. I run their social media accounts for them. During the high school football season, I work with SWX, which is the new station out here, as a play-by-play analyst for the high school football teams.
Okay.
Then I work for ESPN Radio as well on 700 FM as a play-by-play analyst, depending on which game it is. So I'm like always working on new things, because that's what I was going to go to school for, was to be a sports broadcaster. But Eastern didn't have the program that I was looking forward to, or that I needed in order for me to be successful. But then I got a good relationship with the actual SWX guy, Larry Weir, and he made it to where our relationship lasted. He knew what I was going through with football. He understood that. He's like, you know what? When you're done with football, we're going to work something out. And he can see how I project, the way I talk, the way I'm able to articulate the right way. And he was like, let's make this happen. So last year was my first year doing it. And then this past season was my second year. It was great. Play-by-play analyst, being a play-by-play analyst was awesome. You sitting there talking about ball. I can be able to read formations. I can be able to see everything. I'm literally a football junkie. So this is easy.
Yeah, that's awesome. I feel the same way about fighting, where it's like you could have some dork that went to school for it for 4 or 5 years, but how about an athlete that's been on the field, that's been there, that knows exactly what's going on, when it's going on, before it even happens.
And you can give real feedback too, because like when you see a player who's out there balling and doing good, when you're somebody who studies football and you're like, but you never really played it, you don't really understand, you could be like, oh, that's a great player, but you really don't have the insight to really know if he's a great player. You see him make a couple of good plays and you think he is. However, being an actual athlete, especially a freak athlete the way I was in college and the way I was in high school, still am right now actually, but just being able to see some of these players and the way they play and the things they do, you can actually say, that is one hell of a player, and actually mean it, because you know what a hell of a player looks like. I played with Cooper Kupp, Kendrick Bourne. I played Samson Ibukam, who plays that. He just got traded just now. Like, there's so many, Simba Webster, all these guys, they're all in the NFL right now. I played with all these guys, absolutely insane players. So if I say a player is good when I'm doing my play analyst, I actually mean that,
Holds
because
a lot more value.
oh my goodness, yes, I've seen it. I've seen some of the greatest players for sure.
What's some of the hardest things that you face creating content and being an influencer?
I'd say the hardest thing is just being consistent, for sure. Like, there's just days you don't want to post. There's days you don't want to do certain things, and there's just days where you just don't feel like going out and doing stuff. Like, honestly, don't like doing a lot of stuff if I don't have like my beard lined up and trimmed, and so I allow that to like affect a lot of my content posts and stuff. So there's months where you'll see me post 3 things, but then I'll post like a bunch of videos, but like just 2 or 3 photos. And then you'll see months where I'm like just going crazy on it. But that's just because like some months I'm like very, very into it, and then other months I'm not. But yeah, I'm still reaping the same benefits. So even though I'm not posting a lot, like my followers still think that I'm like very consistent with it, because my stories are updated, always have stuff on there. But the consistency is always I say is the biggest thing that any content creator struggles with. It's some days you want to post, some days you don't.
Yeah, I feel because my girl Allie does similar thing, except like in the fitness industry. So yeah, I'd say consistency is the hardest thing. You got to be filming all the time. You got to film when you don't want to film. You're going on a trip this weekend. We got to film 4 things before we go.
That's
and
exactly what I had
catalog,
to do.
and it's crazy. There's so much goes into it, more than just like, oh, cool video.
Yeah, and I think that's another thing too, is just like being able to build that relationship with your followers and supporters, to where they know, like, say if you post a video that's not really the best video, and of course, because not every video is going to be a banger, you got, like, that's the thing too, is like, that's what I teach myself, is we get caught up as an influencer. Sometimes you used to get caught up into the numbers, the likes, the comments, all that stuff, and you really start to allow it to sway like your mindset and everything. You post a video, it gets 3,000 views, you're like, damn, like, is it worth it? Like, do I still want to do this? Like, why am I even posting at this point? But then you post a video that has 300,000 views, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna post every day. But the thing is like, those numbers and views don't matter. It's the content purposes. As long as you're getting the content out there and you're producing good content, just keep on doing that. And the consistency of it is gonna make it to where it blows up. I could post a video right now that could do bad today, and tomorrow I could wake up, it could be at 100,000. You never know how the algorithm or what's gonna push it out. Instead of thinking and being down on yourself that your content isn't good enough, just understand that you can't control the algorithm of social media. You could post a banger and social media would just be like, nah, I'm not going to push it out today. You just don't know. So you can never get caught up in the numbers. You got to just be consistent. That's the hardest thing that I think everyone is struggling with right now. And that's what I'm trying to teach a lot of people. I just had a seminar 2 weeks ago. I was talking to, I think, 6 to 8 girls from Arizona. We were all just on Zoom, and I was just giving them tips and tricks on how to like really be a social media influencer, and like what it takes. Because I went to school for this. I went to school to be a PR agent. And so that's how I'm able to just do everything that I do myself, because I don't have anybody who does anything for me right now. I edit, I film, I do everything myself.
That's huge. And that's kind of where I'm at right now with the whole YouTube thing. Some videos will do good for me, a few hundred. Yeah. Some will do 9 views. And I'm like, well, what the fuck?
Like,
God,
literally.
Damn.
No, that's it. So YouTube is the funny one, because YouTube is right. YouTube is my kryptonite right now. So like it was because I was putting a lot into it, and I was getting very minimal in return. You got to reach 1,000 subscribers, like 4,000 watch hours before you even get monetized. But yeah, I'm paying for an editor. I'm paying for myself to get shot. I'm doing this. I'm paying like the Dropbox slow subscription fee, so I can be able to have large attachments to go back and forth between me and the editor. Like all this stuff is coming out of my pocket, but when I post a video, it's not doing anything. So I'm like, how am I posting YouTubes that's gonna make me like? How is this gonna make me want to do this? But I guess I'd say, so I still haven't really been posting YouTubes, but I'm going to definitely take over on that too here when my hair starts to get a little bit longer. I'd say probably here in the next month and a half. So it's going to be a little bit of a process. I have to be patient with it and everything, but I'm very understanding. I'm very happy about all that. So just the consistency portion and really trying to see don't ever allow yourself to think, why am I doing this and why am I posting this? Why am I it's the content is the content. You could either post it and nobody could ever see it, or you could post it and it could potentially go crazy. Like you have no idea what can happen. So if you're wanting to post content, you wanted to do something on social media, just do it. There's nothing that should hold you back.
Who's the coolest or like most awestruck person that made you feel that you've met so far in this journey?
I'd say, so there's a guy named Robbie World. He's a pretty dope person. He has like probably the most followers that I seen. I think he's probably like a mil something right now on Instagram, which is absolutely insane. But he just is pretty much doing this before I did it. Like when I went down to Atlanta, he was the first person I seen. Went to his crib. He had like a nice. It was like looking over Atlanta. We were just out. I was like, it was nighttime too, and I was like, this is crazy. Like, you got all this off social media. He's been working on like huge skits. He has like movies or whatever, TV shows and stuff coming out soon. Like he has so much stuff that comes out. But just to be able to see him and the way he was, the way he just acted, the way he was a normal guy. And I feel like that's what kind of changed my perspective too, because everyone thinks that you have to act a certain way or be a certain way just because you have followers. Like to me, followers don't mean a thing to me at all. I don't care if you have 1 million followers, if you have 2 followers, anything. I'm still gonna respect you the same exact way. And that's how he was. He was literally so respectful, so nice, like the whole time. He's a dope person. Let's make some videos. Let's do this. He was coming up with skits on the spot. His work ethic was crazy. I literally when I got out there, he would work until like 4 a.m., go to sleep, wake up at like 8 and get right back to it. Creating skits all day with different people, he always has different people in his videos. I was like, okay, this guy is the real deal. So I kind of modeled myself off of that. And I kind of just, except for I don't really do like collabs yet. I'm going to start doing that and everything just for more interactions. But I kind of modeled my social media off of what he does. And he does a great job. Like, I was like, wow. So Robbie World is definitely someone who I modeled my social media off of. But I also am someone who's big on just, I go through and I have a bunch of different people who I follow who like I actually talk to and interact with them. We have good conversations and I just learn a lot. I love to learn. I pretty much learned social media as a whole though from Logan Paul. I used to watch Impulsive like every day, his podcast, and I really would just go on there and I'll just learn about how he started off on social media and how he grew it to where he is. He has the biggest rebrand I've seen. It's pretty crazy. Like, so, you know, he's had a lot of negative things that happen, but yet if you notice, those negative things don't last for too long because he finds a way to be a positive person about things and flip it into something else. I was just watching WrestleMania and he has KSI out there in the Prime suit, jumping off of the ropes and everything. Like, this is insane. Prime is his brand, and I watched when he first made Prime, and I see where it is now. He's trying to make it be bigger than Gatorade. That's insane. I'm seeing it everywhere now. It's in stores. I just left Rosar's. It was just in Rosar's. Like, that's a huge rebrand, and so I really learned a lot from him for sure too.
So speaking of him, if you had to do a celebrity boxing match, who you got your eyes on?
If I had to do a celebrity boxing match, I don't really know. I used to box, so it'll be a long day.
Yeah, hard to find an opponent.
Yeah, people who know me, they know I'm not. I know a few things when I'm in that type of mode. So I'm a pretty good boxer for sure. It's funny that you said that. That's actually something that we're working on right now. So that might be coming real soon.
Whoa, what? Yeah. Fill me in.
Yeah, it might be real soon. We're working on something like that, which is gonna be great. I don't quite know who an opponent will be yet, but whoever it is, just hopefully they're training already.
Are you talking something like locally or what? Or like you being a part of something?
Like a celebrity boxing match coming up soon.
With you or like in Spokane?
Not with me.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So it might be something we're working on here soon. We'll have to see. The details are a bit slim at the moment, but definitely we're working on it.
Shoot, if you need a little training partner, let me know.
Oh yeah, we could work something out for sure. I mean, you got to get these shoulders back right. As I said, I had a couple shoulder surgeries, but shoot, that don't mean nothing. I'm still in great shape and I'm still ready to go. So that's something that I definitely am looking. I want to do that. So because Chase Demore, he's from Tacoma area where I'm from too. He's been doing a couple of celebrity boxing matches and he was just on 2 Out to Handle. So he pretty much got like a similar story to me. He was like, he played football over there at Central, started doing TikToks. We was like in contact for a while, and then out of nowhere, he just ended up on 2 Out to Handle. And then he just used 2 Out to Handle just to elevate his game. Went to 2 Out to Handle, did a boxing match, ended up going on to The Perfect Match, which is a show that just came out in February. And then now he's training right now for another boxing match. I think he's already been in 2 boxing matches actually, but I mean, either way, like the way he's doing it and blowing up like that is pretty much like where I'm trying to go with it as well. He just he sees the opportunities while I was holding myself back from those, but I'm not holding myself back anymore.
Game time, baby.
Yeah, it's game time, 100%.
Hell yeah. Well, is there anything else that you wanted to touch on or let everybody else know that maybe you haven't opened up to, or any other stories you got off top?
I say honestly, for the first podcast, we hit on a lot of good things and a lot of good points that I haven't really talked about yet. So I'm just very grateful, honestly, for the opportunity to be here in the first place. I think that this is just the start of something great, and I'm glad that we're able to actually put a real voice and face to the name, because everyone knows D Hayes, everyone knows what I do and the skits I make, but realistically, not many people know like how I sound. They don't really know. Being able to hear somebody's voice and being able to put that to their face and everything is a lot different than just watching their videos. Every video I do has sounds behind it, and it's never my actual voice.
Yeah.
So I think that this is gonna be huge, and I'm just very grateful for the opportunity. This is just, like I said, the beginning of something huge, and we have a lot of opportunities that are gonna be on the way. And this is just the first time that my face is going to be out there, but this is not the last time. It's going to be a lot more opportunities on the way. So I'm just excited, honestly. I'm just in a great mood, great spirits. I feel good. And I'm just, ready to see what's next. Who knows what's next?
Hell yeah, I like that attitude. And for sure, I would love to have you back on, especially, down the road. You get a couple big projects under your belt. You got something huge coming up you want to announce or talk about. We'll have you back on, and then maybe spend some more time on specific things and deep dive into specific stories and whatnot. But until then, you kind of gave the world a great summary and overview of who is D Hayes.
Exactly. And that's what it's all about. I just hope that everyone could feel like inspired by this and really understand that like everyone goes through a lot of stuff in life. So I think that the first thing we have to do is just be a lot more caring towards people. Like being so judgmental and not really understanding what people go through or what people have gone through is it's kind of taking over the world right now. Everyone's so judgmental and you really don't understand what people go through. I seen in the comments the other day as well when I was talking about my hair transplant. People were saying, this girl swiped up and she said, damn, she said, now I feel like shit because I was one of those people who was making fun of you for wearing hats and stuff. Like, I didn't know. I didn't see it or care, honestly. But she was like, I was one of those people making fun of you for wearing hats and stuff, but I didn't understand. I didn't know what you have been through. And I feel like that's a huge point because you can't judge people just based off of what they do, what they wear and stuff, and not really understand why they're in that situation. Just because I'm smiling and laughing, having a great time all the time, and you try and like find the one flaw that I have in that moment, which was the hat or the do-rag or whatever it may be, and try and exploit that little thing, you're a fool. You're like, you don't know. And so now you feel like shit because you wanted to do all that. And like, so I think that that's something that we really have to be very cognizant of and just be aware. You never know what people go through. You don't understand like how people are doing in that day. Like, I usually have a lot of good days, but if I have a bad day, I hope that people will be able to understand that, and that's just, I feel like the way we need to get back to that. We need to get back to the more positivity, the more positive things, and really just understand that like we're all human. We're all here for, we don't have very much time here. So what do you want to be remembered as? Do you want to be remembered as a hater, someone who hates on everyone else and is not a good person? Or do you want to be remembered as someone who goes above and beyond for everybody? You care about everybody and you've done everything you possibly can do to be the best person you possibly can be. That's what type of person I want to be seen as. And I want to look past all the stigmas and all the stereotypes and stuff, tattoos, grills, all that stuff. Who cares? I'm educated. I'm smart. I do a lot of good things. I'm very talented in many different ways. I draw, I play football, I play basketball. I'm very athletic. I'm a gamer. Like I'm in every avenue. Sneakerhead. I do clothes, shoes. I drew my tattoo on my back. I got Ready for War on my back. I got Donald Duck and Bugs Bunny both holding guns like this back to back. Like I have a good time. Like it's just like you just don't know like what type of person they are. My friends say it all the time. Like what aren't you good at? But I'm not good at bowling. That's one thing. So let's say that.
Not yet, anyway.
No, not yet. Actually, I was gonna go home and watch some tutorials later.
Hey, there you go.
My best friend, he's pretty much like a professional bowler. Be bowling like 220s and stuff. I'm like, we went for his birthday. I bowled a 180. I'm like, what? You got me going crazy. Next game, I bowled like a 70. I'm like, all right, man. So yeah, there's. I'm just here for a good time. I hope everybody can see like I'm a fun, happy person. I enjoy life. Hopefully people can enjoy it with me. I mean, come join the journey. Follow me, subscribe to me, and I promise you, my content will not let you down. Especially if you're having a bad day, we'll definitely enjoy it.
Hell yeah. So with that being said, why don't you look at your camera, tell them where they can find you, where they can find all this content, and then any shouts out you got to do, sponsors, manager, anything like that.
Of course, yes. So pretty much you guys can all follow me on Instagram at IMDHayes_. I do have the blue check on there, so you know that it will be me verified on there. And honestly,
verified before everybody else.
Oh yeah, we don't pay monthly subscriptions over here. We do not pay monthly subscriptions. But hey, but if you do, I don't know, man. I don't really know how I feel about that because you guys are the reason why I'm not getting Reels pay right now.
For real.
But it's all good. At the end of the day, hopefully you guys can come and follow me. I mean, shoot me a DM or whatever. I like to reply to as many people as possible. I'm very open to all that. I'm not someone who thinks I'm like better than anybody else because I have followers. I just love life. I love to have a good time. If you guys see me around or see me out or whatever, say what's up. Have a good time. We can get a drink together or something. Like I said, I'm a fun person, you know. Like I'm very serious about life and about like my money and doing stuff like that and finding new ways. But at the end of the day, I enjoy life. I enjoy having a good time. And you know, if you see me around or whatever, come say what's up. To take some pictures, just have a good time. You guys want some drip? Hit me up. I got all the gallery or whatever you guys need. Iam's Closet is on the way as well. And you know, just I appreciate the opportunity to be here and everything. It was definitely a fun podcast. This is my first one. Like I said, first time being on camera and being able to do this. You know, I got the natural flow, so this is not going to be the last time. We're definitely going to have some fun with this again.
Hell yeah, you killed it, man. I'm excited to see what else you're doing here pretty soon, and excited to be a part of the journey.
Oh yeah, the journey is just getting started. It's the rebrand time. It's rebrand. The second half of this year is going to go crazy. Let's do it.
I appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for coming by.
Always.
And that's all. Oh my bad. And that's all, y'all. Deuces.
Yes, sir.